Um, I woke up this morning and rather than just get at work, I decided to just go ahead and talk through some of the ideas that are in my head. So the first thing is that um, yesterday I walked through the tool that I use to think about how to segment audiences. And the next step is to think through, okay, how do you test which topic that audience is interested in? So again, I could have just breezed through it all. A lot of these documents are for internal use, but I'm just finding it easier to talk through everything. One little hack or tip is that PowerPoint has a feature that Google Google Slides or Google Docs don't have, and that is the smart art. And you can see that just by looking at the screen, how colorful it is. It's easy to just take this all in in one sitting, right? So when you're thinking about how to go about finding the topics to write about that are going to really resonate and create a solid direct response with your audience, I like to think of it in terms of number one, making a list of big ideas, and then two, testing it and collecting data. And how do you connect data? Well, you have surveys, you have emails, you have social data, all right? And also you have to think about first party and second party data. So second party data is somebody else's post, right? So you can actually observe the post reactions or the video view reactions or the video comments of somebody else's content. Then you have your own content, and either you do have an audience and you can run surveys or send the emails, okay? Or you can post something on social, or you don't have an audience and you need to pay for it. So think of it in terms of first party and second party data. Think of it in terms of a paid reaction or a free reaction, and that's whether or not you have an audience or you don't have an audience. Okay, that's how I think through it. So you can screenshot this or just go ahead and leave a comment or shoot me an email if you would like access to this. Okay. The next thing is that you have to think through a couple of use a couple of exercises to come up with that list. So here's a couple of ways to stoke your thinking. One is you think about topics you wouldn't get bored writing about. All right. Next one is you can think about what skill stack or talent stack you want to specialize in. Google that if you're not sure about it. Third, you can think about topics people have asked you often about. Fourth, you can think about the what topics have gotten a really good reaction from people through email or social media or sales. All right. Topics you've achieved some above average results in. Okay. Because then you'll have instant credibility. Okay. And then you want to take those ideas and then post content through email or through social. Okay. And you or through an ad, and then you judge the results based on likes. You can use a quantitative score and a qualitative score, right? So what got a lot of likes, comments, or shares, and also too, again, if you're selling something, there's content that leads to a lot of social engagement, and there's content that leads to sales. And the more mature business person knows that there's some content that might not generate huge social reaction, but it sells, right? So you need to know the difference. Just for my own thinking, I've made through a list of some big ideas and topics that interest me and I can talk about quote unquote all day. And also I broke it down in terms of work and also play, right? Because you want to mix that in, all right? When you're talking about professional topics, it helps to kind of weave in some personal and play because it makes it more interesting, right? So this is my list of things that I feel passionate about, I have some experience in, I've gotten reactions from. And so what I'm going to do is list is far too big. I need to whittle this down to like 3 to 5 ideas, okay, that people that's going to resonate with my audience. And then also too, just in terms of the non-work related side of me, these are areas that I feel really passionate about. So books, film, music, not just any kind of music, community building, relationships, networking. Also too, this whole idea that you shouldn't be forced to pick one career. Like, I think of myself as an entrepreneur, an investor, educator. I don't talk a lot about the fact that I have a degree in education, but I always end up teaching. Eventually, I feel passionate about giving back. And then also, like, this whole idea of servant leadership. So what about people who don't just have one career? So this is my way of thinking through it. And just to summarize it again, you want to make a list of ideas, big ideas, all right? And then you want to go and get feedback through these sources, first party and second party sources. If you have an audience, great. If you don't, you're going to have to invest in some paid traffic or paid promotion, because you got to get the content in front of an audience in order to get the reaction. Okay. And then once you have a reaction, then the end result will be that you'll have a list of 3 to 5 topics. Also, you'll have a list of like what aspects of you kind of really resonate with your audience, right? I find that my audience tends to really resonate with the when I talk about like traveling and international living. Some people really resonate with me being a beach lover because they love the beach, and that's a core emotional driver for some people. It's especially in the United States, like it's a real privilege, if you will, because coastal property is expensive, to be able to live in a warm environment that's close to the beach, walking distance, couple of 100 feet. All right. So that's my way of thinking through it. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment or shoot me an email. And if you like access to this, go ahead and reach out and subscribe. Okay. This is Shola. Take care and take action.